You know, I remember one time walking in the studio, Bleak Beans, everybody was in there, and I was like, man, I'm telling you, man, y'all got a chance right now, just flood it, put out a lot of music, because 50 Cent is coming. And, you know, 4 months later, In the Club hit, and it was over. And it was just like, okay, now everybody got to sit on the sidelines and wait this tidal wave out.
There's a huge difference in energy internationally in 50 Cent and Jay-Z. In fact, his largest selling record sold 430-something thousand copies. My largest selling records sold 5 million. You let them be fooled in America and think there's a competition there. Because America can be purchased. You can buy it with marketing dollars. You see what I'm saying? But the rest of the world, there's not enough marketing dollars to go around.
That's why I made a statement about Taylor Swift.
I wish you would come take one of my awards so I could black his eye in front of everybody.
And Jay disagrees.
I want everyone to be clear. No one's scared of 50 Cent.
Does that bother you? Does it bother you?
No, it doesn't bother me. It's just his choice.
Why would you have to make that clear when no one's ever asked me if I'm afraid of Jay-Z?
The public is responding to his punk presentation. It's not 50 Cent. I don't have a problem with him. Kanye would not take a trophy from me. Neither Jay-Z.
Right.
Neither one of them.
What would you have?
No, we would have had altercation, right?
Jay-Z's spotless reputation is under attack, and 50 Cent is leading the charge. Cheating whispers, secret contracts tied to Beyonce, grooming accusations, and behind-the-scenes sabotage. Everything that was once only whispered in the industry is now surfacing loud and clear. For years, Jay-Z has been painted as the untouchable mogul, the man who calls the shots. But insiders say he used his position not to uplift the culture, but to control it, keeping artists in check with threats, deals, and industry blockades. And now 50 Cent is finally exposing just how deep those power moves really went. Their beef isn't new, it's legendary. It started back in the late 90s when 50 shook up the rap world with How to Rob and boldly called Jay-Z a poser. That wasn't just a diss, it was a warning shot. Even then, 50 saw through Jay's carefully crafted image. To him, Jay wasn't a fighter, he was a gatekeeper. All bark and no bite.
You couldn't be bigger than Jay-Z. You couldn't sell more records than Jay-Z. But all you had to do was listen to Benny Siegel. And Benny Siegel was, oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, he said that. That was the first of me actually hearing that. Like, oh shit. Like I used to have questions like why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop right on top of me. He wouldn't let me breathe or right before me. Like I was always close, and I always thought like, damn, if a kid, back then it was physical copies. So if you had $20, 20 bucks that you saved up and you was going to buy an album, and it's under the same house, Rockefeller, between Jay and BBC, 9 times out of 10 you won't buy the Jay-Z album. I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on top of me. And it was like, damn, like to have in-house competition at that magnitude was crazy. Jay already the boss, but I always thought that, like, let me breathe. But to maliciously plot to hold me back, I don't know, man. I don't believe that. I don't want to believe that. I mean, but like I said, Dame would know better than me.
Leaning on connections to shut doors instead of battling face to face. And history shows 50 wasn't lying. Look at how Jay handled Nas. Instead of relying solely on lyrical skill, Jay allegedly pulled every industry lever he could to crush Nas's momentum, even plotting release dates to interfere with his album sales. The same playbook was used against 50 when he was rising. Jay tried to flood the market before Get Rich or Die Trying hit, hoping to drown out one of the most explosive debuts hip-hop had ever seen. He didn't succeed, but the attempt revealed just how threatened he really was. And it wasn't just the legends Jay aimed at. His own people weren't safe either. Beanie Siegel, once a loyal soldier under Rockefeller, found himself blackballed when Jay allegedly timed his own projects to sabotage Beanie's shine. Imagine that. Your mentor dropping projects just to keep you in the shadows. Loyalty meant nothing when Jay's spotlight was on the line. The pettiness didn't stop at record sales. It reached the grandest stage in music history, the Super Bowl. According to insiders, Jay-Z allegedly worked behind the scenes to block 50 Cent from even touching that platform. The only reason 50 got his rightful spot was because Eminem personally went to bat for him. M demanded that 50 be added back to the roster, making sure his brother wasn't erased from one of the biggest hip-hop moments ever. That single act showed who was real and who was just playing gatekeeper. Meanwhile, 50 Cent built a whole different kind of reputation, one rooted in loyalty.
2020, y'all. Yeah. And it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a Black Billionaires lunch. You understand? Right. And we here together, and we're gonna keep staying together. We getting tighter. You know what I'm saying? And united we stand. And ain't nothing else to us. Black excellence. Right.
The new lawsuit coming with Jay, the part with Jay. I go, oh shoot, like
to us. Black excellence. Right.
that had to be there.
We getting tighter. You know what I'm saying? And united we stand. And ain't nothing else.
Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah. It's the billionaire brunch. Like,
I hate you, man.
Unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you this year. Come on, bro. That's crazy.
Despite his unmatched success, he's known for lifting up the people around him. Tony Yayo himself said it best. 50 is a legend not just for the music, but because he's still approachable, still open to other black artists, still willing to extend a hand when others would slam the door shut. And that's the biggest difference.
Look, when Jay signed his contract, the big one was with Beyonce. Mm-hmm. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Now those trophies, those trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and right, man. I mean, look, if you look at his career,
Wow. You're gonna let him say that? Jay was getting Grammys.
He had one.
Exactly.
He had one.
And he didn't show up.
No, he had like 20 now.
Oh, Lord.
He had like 18 since he's been down. Look, he had one, bro. Hard Knock Life.
You're not wrong.
He was one. At the same time, he got them shits. He started drinking. His pictures with him like things the cup.
Wait a minute. So you're saying the success is derived from the marriage?
Absolutely, been treated differently.
The accolades. Because he's no longer viewed as what, like a street or gangster rapper. Now he's viewed as a businessman, entrepreneur, family man.
And the biggest ones because of the position Beyonce's.
Oh, wow.
50 moves like a soldier who never forgot where he came from, while Jay-Z walks like he's untouchable. Too big to be touched, and too quick to use his power to silence competition instead of embracing it. In the streets, that's the difference between respect and resentment.
You can look at that and say the association to Beyonce is when he started to receive the 16 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce, right? And you go, prior to that, one.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see their kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing. Right. They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys and shit. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave them.
Why are you so on top of the business side of Jay-Z? You know what I'm saying? Some people like to just be an artist.
Yeah, I was actually forced to be an artist and a businessman because when I tried to get a deal, I couldn't get a deal. So I had to create Rockefeller Records. We actually created Rockefeller Records from nothing. And, so I was forced to know both sides of the business.
Now let's talk about Jay-Z, the businessman, because that's what he's always been first and foremost. Every move he's made in his career wasn't about art, loyalty, or culture. It was about the money. And 50 Cent says that even Jay's marriage to Beyonce wasn't about love at all. According to 50, it was nothing more than a contract, a deal designed to push both their careers to untouchable heights. Since the day they tied the knot, Jay has been collecting Grammys like trophies, using the marriage to cement himself as hip-hop royalty.
About Rihanna, the diva Rihanna. She's from Barbados?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, she's Bayesian. How did you come in contact with her? I mean, did you fly over there?
No, Jay Brown had actually bought me the song. She has a song right now, and it's I wouldn't say massive because of her roots, but she has this outrageous song called Pawnee Replay. And he played that song for me, and I was scared. I was like, that song is too big for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, a new artist, when a song is that big, it's it's hard to come back from. And I don't sign songs, I sign artists.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Why don't you break down the difference between that? Because the viewing public might not understand that.
Some people chase the hot song for a minute, and then they sign.
But behind the scenes, it's a very different story. This so-called contract marriage is also why Jay-Z's name has been dragged through endless cheating rumors.
Based on the song, I want to sign it based on an artist, based on, or based on the swagger, based on the level of talent, based on the writing. So I was a little reluctant when I first heard the song, and then he kept going. Jay Brown, he kept being persistent. I was like, you know what, bring her by. And when she walked into our office, I was like, she just it was just something about her. It was just, she had this, it was just something about her. And then she performed the song, and I was like, okay. Okay, then we sat down and we talked, and they were talking about how she would stay in the studio and try to get the verse over, and then come back the next day. I was like, oh, work ethic, everything is there. So we signed it that night. We didn't let her leave the office.
Really?
The 3 a.m. was when that contract got signed. So from the meeting around 3, 4 in the afternoon, we signed it by 3 a.m. Wow. That day, I was absolutely certain.
He wanted the perfect public image with Beyonce at his side, but allegedly, he couldn't stay faithful. The whispers never stopped, one of the biggest being that Jay-Z was linked to Rihanna early in her career. The details are chilling. When Rihanna was first signed, she was a teenager fresh out of Barbados, brought into the U.S. with nothing but her dream and her voice. Jay-Z allegedly arranged a late-night meeting around 3 a.m. in his hotel suite with no team, no family, no protection, just her and him. That signing became one of the biggest launches in music history. But the way it allegedly happened raised a lot of eyebrows then, and still does now. And Jay-Z's messy history doesn't stop with industry deals or personal scandals. He's had serious run-ins with the law too. Back in December 1999, Jay-Z made headlines for all the wrong reasons after being accused of stabbing music executive Lance Rivera at the Kit Kat Club in New York City. The fight reportedly broke out over Rockefeller Records' internal drama, and Rivera accused Jay of attacking him over leaked music disputes. Jay-Z turned himself in and faced charges, proving that even before he was a billionaire mogul, chaos followed him everywhere he went. Jay-Z's history of infidelity has been out in the open for years, and the cracks in his so-called perfect marriage have only gotten harder to ignore. He admitted to cheating on Beyonce multiple times as early as 2007, and by 2014, the rumors exploded again when whispers of his involvement with other women started to circulate. That same year gave us one of the most unforgettable celebrity scandals ever. Solange attacking Jay-Z in the elevator after the Met Gala after party. The footage showed Solange swinging on him, Beyonce standing quietly to the side, and the world asking, what on earth happened in that elevator? Many said Beyonce's silence was her way of agreeing with her sister, knowing exactly what Jay had been up to. Insiders claim the industry never bought the fairy tale marriage to begin with. Behind the glitz, people knew what was really going down. Jay's name kept popping up with women like Rihanna, Rita Ora, and Rachel Roy, all while he was still married to Beyonce. Even more shocking was Beyonce's apparent acceptance of the situation. To many, it looked like she was fully aware of his behavior, but chose to do nothing. Because the marriage wasn't built on love, it was built on business. A billion-dollar empire disguised as a relationship, and it didn't stop there. Jay-Z's infidelity rumors kept growing, and just months ago, reports surfaced suggesting he was allegedly connected to none other than Diddy. That link alone turned heads, because everyone knows the kind of allegations circling around Diddy right now, and the truth is ugly. When you're powerful enough, when the money is endless, accountability seems to vanish. You can do what you want and still stand on top. The wildest part? The rest of the industry stays silent. Nobody dares speak up because calling out Jay-Z or Diddy could mean career suicide. But 50 Cent? He's built different. He's not tied to their money, not scared of their threats, and not willing to keep quiet while everyone else pretends nothing's happening. On an episode of the Flagrant podcast, 50 went straight for the jugular. He said Jay-Z was out here drugging women and that the silence from other rappers and executives wasn't innocence. It was complicity. If they're not talking, it's because they were part of the same dirt. 50 Cent didn't hold back when he sat down on Big Boy TV. He went straight for the jugular, clowning Jay-Z's entire image. Big homie wanna look like a gay painter, 50 said, throwing a dagger at Jay's new artsy style. He wasn't just talking about clothes, he was mocking the way Jay has been deliberately styling himself to look like Jean-Michel Basquiat, the legendary painter. The wild part, most people in the industry would never dare to talk about Jay-Z like that. But 50 isn't like everyone else. He's not scared of losing access. He's not scared of being blackballed. If he's got something to say, he says it loud. But 50 isn't the only one pulling the curtain back. Jaguar Wright has been sounding the alarm about Jay-Z for years.
But Jaguar has been warning us about Jay-Z. Jay-Z has now had an official lawsuit. It's everywhere. It's now being talked about louder than ever. I guess, does that give you some peace to know that people are finally really questioning this man?
It's emboldening me. I spoke on Piers Morgan. I said that I had 3 victims that I've been working with, victims of the Carters, that were ready to come forward. This might help them feel a little more confident now. So this is great because he's been evading. But the thing is, everyone in the backdrop knew that he was the celebrity John Doe. Everybody knew that. They knew it when I did Piers Morgan.
Is Beyonce celebrity B?
I hope to God not. But she was around. And she's very... she's got enough on her plate. After everything that happened with the election and everything that's happening right now, I'm not going to dump on that woman. She got better fish to fry.
Well,
what I will say is that her husband, she knows exactly who he is.
Yeah.
She knows. She knows.
She's not just some outsider throwing dirt. She's an artist who actually worked with him, saw how he moved, and lived through the industry politics.
Rihanna was trafficked to Def Jam.
She was an innocent baby when she came over here. And look at her now.
14 going on 15 years old. Flown over without parental supervision in a private plane by a man who was supposed to be a producer who auditioned her at 3 a.m. in the morning in a hotel room. Auditioning at 3 a.m. in the morning, a 14-year-old girl. She was flown to another country. She was taken to Def Jam headquarters. She was left in a conference room alone with Sean Carter for nearly 6 hours alone with no parental supervision. Her father collected a $500,000 check. She has the fastest inked deal in Def Jam history.
And her words paint a chilling picture. According to Jaguar, Jay-Z isn't just manipulative, he's dangerous. She claims the industry has been protecting him for decades, building a shield around him because he's too powerful, too connected, and too risky to cross. People stay quiet not because they don't know the truth, but because they know exactly what might happen if they speak out. And 50 is making it clear. Jay-Z isn't acting alone. He says Jay-Z and Diddy are 2 sides of the same coin, running parallel empires with the same dark playbook. 2 peas in the same pod is how 50 put it, only with one major difference. While Diddy is loud, flashy, and reckless, Jay-Z plays the long game. He stays in the shadows, pulling strings where no one can see, manipulating the culture from behind the curtain. Jay-Z's power moves in the music game have always been shady, and 50 Cent keeps peeling back the layers. One of the biggest accusations, Jay doesn't just compete, he sabotages. People inside the industry have whispered for years that Jay-Z uses his influence to blacklist artists who don't play by his rules. If he can't control you, he'll shut the doors before you even get a chance to shine. Take Beanie Siegel as an example. Beanie once rode hard for Rockefeller, but Jay allegedly pulled the rug out from under him, timing his own album releases to crush Beanie's chances at success. Instead of mentoring, Jay turned into competition, and the message was clear. Nobody eats unless Jay says so. That same energy has followed him for decades, from Rockefeller to Rock Nation, where smaller artists claim they got shelved, blocked, or ignored when they didn't fall in line. Even collaborations weren't safe. Insiders say Jay would deliberately withhold features, block shows, or steer award opportunities away from people he didn't like. And when you look at the timing of his own projects, it becomes obvious. He wanted to dominate charts by any means necessary. 50 Cent flat out says Jay doesn't uplift black artists like he claims. Instead, he's been stepping on them to secure his own spot at the top. And then there's the Super Bowl story, which exposed just how far Jay would go. When hip-hop finally got its chance to own the halftime show, word is Jay-Z tried to keep 50 Cent out completely. It took Eminem personally stepping in, demanding that 50 be included for him to touch that stage. Imagine that. One of the biggest rappers in the world almost erased from history's biggest performance, all because Jay didn't want him there. That's not business, that's ego. The crazy part? Jay-Z sells himself as the face of black excellence, a billionaire who built an empire to inspire others. But behind the scenes, the story sounds a lot different. Power plays, blocked opportunities, blackballing artists who dared to challenge him, and a history of backdoor deals that always seemed to benefit him more than anyone else. If you think Jay-Z is dangerous on his own, just wait until you hear about his ties with Diddy. According to 50 Cent, these two have been locked in step for decades, running the industry like a secret partnership. On the surface, they act like rivals.
Rap star is busted.
Jay-Z turned himself in tonight, and the cops started working on his rap sheet, accusing him of a stabbing at a trendy party.
Kimberly Richardson is at Midtown South right now. Kimberly.
Well, Rosanna, just a few hours ago, police here at Midtown South arrested Sean Carter, better known as Jay-Z. The rap star voluntarily turned himself in here at the precinct earlier this evening. Now, Carter is being held here in connection with that stabbing fight that erupted at the Kit Kat Club last night. But just a few moments ago, Carter's attorney had this to say.
He's not involved in this, period.
He was at the club?
That's my only comment. He wasn't involved in this.
So it was someone else that did the stabbing and the hitting?
I didn't say that. I said he was not involved in it.
Now, Slovis goes on to say that at no time was Jay-Z hiding from the police, that they were in touch with cops all day and that they're trying to resolve this as gentlemen. But as Mike Sheehan shows us, others say they've seen the dark side of Jay-Z.
I have my faults. You know I'm not a perfect person.
Different labels, different styles, different brands, but behind closed doors, 50 says they move like a unit, pulling strings nobody else even realizes are there.
Difficult to say, I'm going to talk about the problems in our marriage. I'm going to talk about how we almost lost things. And for her to say, I'm going to talk about my pain and anger at you. What were those conversations like?
Again, it didn't happen in that way. It happened, we were using our art almost like a therapy session. And we started making music together.
Mm-hmm.
And then the music she was making at that time was further along. So her album came out as opposed to the joint album that we were working on.
Mm-hmm.
We still have a lot of that music. And this is what it became. There was never a point where it was like, I'm making this album. I was there.
Right.
I was right there the entire time.
And what was her reaction to your work and what was your reaction to hers? They must have caused
I think they were
pain
both
for each of you, right?
Diddy has always been the flashy one. Lavish parties, wild scandals, and headlines that never stop. Jay-Z, on the other hand, plays it quieter. He's the shadow operator, the one making long-term moves while Diddy distracts the world with chaos.
Of course. And it both very, very uncomfortable, but sitting in that, the best place in the, hurricane is like in the middle of it.
Yeah.
We were sitting in the eye of that hurricane. Maybe not use hurricane because so many people are being affected right now, but the best place is right in the middle of the pain.
Right.
And that's where we were sitting, and it was uncomfortable. And we had a lot of conversations,
Right.
and really proud of the music she made, and she was really proud of the art I released. And, at the end of the day, we really have a healthy respect for one another's craft. I think she's amazing.
Right.
Most people walk away and like divorce rate is like 50% or something because most people can't see themselves. The hardest thing is seeing pain on someone's face that you caused and then have to deal with yourself.
Yeah.
So most people don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You don't want to look inside yourself. And so you walk away.
Together, they've allegedly controlled who rises, who falls, and who gets completely erased from the industry. And if you weren't willing to play their game, your career never stood a chance. Think about all the stories of artists who mysteriously vanished, albums that got shelved, and careers that stalled out right when they were heating up. Insiders whisper that more than a few of those failures weren't accidents.
It's my soulmate. It's the person I love, you know. And you can be in love with someone. You can love someone and and if you haven't experienced love and you don't understand it and you don't have the tools to move forward, then you're gonna have complications, period. And if you can either address it or you could pretend until it blows up at some point. And, you know, for us, we chose to fight for our love, for our family, to give our kids a different outcome. You see, you know, to break that cycle. For Black men and women, you know, to see a different outcome. Like you were saying, it's not this celebrity couple. We were never a celebrity couple. We were a couple who just happened to be celebrities.
They were decisions made by moguls like Jay-Z and Diddy, who had the money and the reach to shut doors before they were ever opened. Jaguar Wright even called it out, saying Jay-Z was calculated and dangerous, protected by a system too powerful to go against. And when you add Diddy into the picture, the system only gets darker. With one man in the spotlight and the other pulling strings from the shadows, it's no wonder so many people in the game keep quiet. They're not just scared of losing opportunities, they're scared of what happens if they speak up. 50 Cent, though, refuses to play by those rules.
And a new twist in a high-profile lawsuit accuses rapper Jay-Z of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000 alongside Sean Diddy Combs. The lawsuit, originally filed in October, was refiled today to include Jay-Z as a defendant. The anonymous accuser claims the assault occurred at an MTV Video Music Awards after-party. Jay-Z has denied the allegations in a statement on Roc Nation's Instagram, calling the accusations heinous and urging a criminal complaint be filed instead of a civil one. He also criticized the attorney behind the lawsuit, Tony Busby, accusing him of exploiting the case for personal gain.
He's not tied to Roc Nation, he's not under Diddy's wing, and he doesn't need their approval. That's why he's the only one bold enough to call out what everyone else tiptoes around. He's painting a picture of an industry where two men use their combined power to decide the fate of countless artists, while presenting themselves as leaders of the culture. The irony is, both Jay-Z and Diddy love to talk about uplifting the community.
You're not worried that if you throw little and you don't throw out allegations, but like you kind of poke fun at them.
You just ask questions.
You're not worried that it comes back your way? Like people dig up your past and try to pull stuff up?
I don't got that in my past.
Everybody got a little bit. Like, not that it's real enough.
I took a pill, but it was for me to perform better. For her to remember, buddy. I didn't give her a drink so she forget what the happened. What the is going on here, bro? Yes, I took the drink. I gave me the drug to perform. So she can remember it.
About building wealth and opportunity for Black artists. But 50 Cent says the truth is the exact opposite.
Did it work? What the yo, bro, look, I'm doing pretty good. Like, doing pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm just saying, this is the opposite of normal shit that we're talking about, bro.
That is why. I don't know why it's so hard for people
so
to just
for people to feel like you
weird.
would have something or you would have reserved energy because you feel like you was doing it too. This is people that are looking on separation between their hardships or their the things that they got going on that would be issues, and what a celebrity's issues would be.
Wait, what does that mean?
They think all celebrities are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right, and when you see, if I wasn't saying anything, guess what? You could safely say that a person on the outskirts that is not involved in hip-hop culture could think that everybody in hip-hop culture is with that.
They weren't uplifting anyone. They were gatekeeping, hoarding opportunities, and making sure no one else could touch their thrones. The deeper you dig into Jay-Z and Diddy's empire, the dirtier it gets. For years, these two presented themselves as pioneers.
Because of Jay-Z and them was putting it together. So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
You think you were purposely left out of the ad?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think. I think that they were saying the NFL has some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. Like, what is the issue? You see what I'm saying? Like, and I with M, because like with Nori he had communication. He said, yeah, I talked to the big homie. He said, told Jay, he was telling me
the white boy wouldn't do the truth without 50, right? And I'm like, that's when I start saying crazy stuff because I look and I go, oh, that's your big homie, right? And so he imaged himself after a gay painter. The big homie want to look like a gay painter.
What are we talking about here?
We're talking about Basquiat. He wants to look like a gay painter.
Oh my God, I think I know where we're going with
So
this.
now look, what I'm saying to you is, look, when you start looking at, that's not mine, that's theirs, their Harper, right? But when you look at, M is looking at the entire legacy.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like with M, Dre, and myself.
Billionaires paving the way for the culture. But according to 50 Cent, what they were really doing was building a fortress of power to protect themselves and the secrets nobody dared to talk about. Behind the private jets, champagne parties, and billion-dollar brands, there's a long trail of broken relationships and silenced voices. Artists who once thought they were signing life-changing deals later found out they were trapped in contracts that left them broke, shelved, or abandoned. Rumors swirl that Jay-Z's Rock Nation became less about nurturing talent and more about controlling it, keeping artists in his orbit while cutting off their independence. Meanwhile, Diddy was building his own empire on the same foundation. Lavish promises up front, but destruction waiting on the back end. And the industry knows. Everyone sees it, but nobody wants to speak. Why? Because Jay and Diddy's reach goes far beyond music. They've got connections in politics, media, and business that make them nearly untouchable.
Guys, if you haven't seen it, which I hadn't seen it until this morning when I saw this headline, Kim found it for me. Let's watch this clip quickly.
Crazy
Let's
that you
watch
haven't
Tyra
seen
like pushing to get this out of Rihanna, and when it does, man, it made me feel very, very uncomfortable.
Audition. Yes. But before I met him, I was so nervous. I was shaking literally. But the moment I walked into the office, the atmosphere was so warm and welcoming.
And you had to sing a cappella for him?
Yes, I had to sing. I sang Fun to Replay. I sang another ballad from the album last time.
Yeah. So then what did he say to you? He said something to you.
Oh yes, he said, we don't sign songs here, we sign artists. And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, and we're interested. And there was this sudden feel of relief.
But then he said something about a window and a door.
Call them out. And you don't just risk your career, you risk your entire future. That's why the silence around them is so loud. People know the truth.
Oh, then he said, he did it homework.
I did a lot of homework on you, this lady.
He said, there are two ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal signed or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
So you was like, where's the pen? Where's the paper? I'm signing.
Yeah.
The audience is so uncomfortable. Like, I don't know if Tyra was trying to get that on the record, but my God, what Jaguar? He threatened her. This is her own words coming out of her mouth, and she was a kid at that time, correct?
A 15-year-old girl who had been flown to the United States without parental supervision or a chaperone, brought to a grown man's office in a large corporate Manhattan building. Everybody knew when she flew in. I was there the day she got signed.
But money and power keep the lid screwed tight. But 50 Cent refuses to play along. He's been calling it like he sees it, saying Jay and Diddy are cut from the same cloth. One plays it loud, the other plays it quiet.
Beautiful. When I
girl.
met her that day, I knew she was a star. Like, just her look, the way she walked into a room and her confidence, and she performed in my office.
And she was what, 17 years old at that point?
She was 16.
16, and she has the confidence of it. She's
Yeah.
like an old soul in a sense, right?
Absolutely.
So she walks in your office, and what? She just belts out a tune?
Belts out of tune. She performs, and I tell her, there's no way out of this office. I signed her that day.
But the game is the same. According to 50, these men built their status not on uplifting the community, but on using it, squeezing every ounce of power from those around them while pretending to be role models. Even Beyonce's role in this is starting to raise questions. Was her marriage to Jay really about love, or was it part of the bigger empire strategy? To many, it looks like she sacrificed her personal life to lock in a dynasty, while quietly tolerating Jay-Z's betrayals because the business came first. That image of the perfect couple may have sold billions, but 50 Cent says the cracks are showing and the truth is finally leaking out. 50 Cent doesn't care how much money you've got, who you're married to, or what boardroom you sit in. He's not backing down.
Accusation about Jay-Z and Diddy and a teenager, 13-year-old.
Right.
and we were speaking about just the statement.
Right.
The statement you were saying you felt like that was calculated.
That was that the statement is something from, you can tell it's written by a lawyer, because there's a point where it kind of gets aggressive. He says like you're gonna find out like how I'll handle this. Like, and that's an attorney want to be combative with another attorney. That's not like the publicist wouldn't say those things.
This is on your
Who put that up?
yeah, this is
that
on
50?
yeah, it says I don't know what's going on, but are we still gonna have the Super Bowl? I'm just asking for a friend.
Yeah, I'm asking for Kendrick. You know, I'm just trying to figure out if we're still doing everything the way. Because look, they will fall back, but they like the NFL, they won't necessarily be associated to that.
Right. Why do you not insert yourself, but you're on top of every topic, right?
Yeah. I'm just watching. I'm participating. I'm being part of the culture. I'm just telling you my opinion.
Right.
Look,
Because you're part of the culture.
Like I can't say anything now. I'm out of it. I'm like I'm going to Dre's studio and just sit with Dre.
Right.
And then, maybe I stay out of trouble.
Now,
he's proven time and time again that he'll call out the biggest names in the game without blinking, and Jay-Z is no exception. While the rest of the industry stays silent, whether out of fear, loyalty, or backroom deals, 50 keeps ripping the mask off, showing people what really goes on behind the glitter and Grammys, and what he's exposing isn't the polished billionaire mogul image Jay-Z wants you to see. It's something darker, something built on power plays, shady contracts, and secrets everyone else pretends don't exist. From alleged cheating scandals to business blackballing, from quiet ties to Diddy's empire to whispers of manipulation in the shadows, the picture 50 paints is far from the fairy tale Jay-Z sells to the public. That's why this feud hits different. It isn't just about music. It's about truth versus image. One side is using silence and power to control the story, while the other side, 50 Cent, is saying the quiet part out loud. And the question becomes, if 50 is this fearless about speaking, what else does he know? What truths is he holding that the rest of the industry is too scared to admit? So now I'll ask you, what do you think 50 Cent knows that nobody else is willing to say out loud? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I know this story is only getting started. If you made it this far, sound off in the comments. What's your take on Jay-Z and 50's war of words? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you want more deep dives like this.